3 Nights Away. Written by Lainey Delaroque. Author's note. This story can be enjoyed on its own, but the events take place sometime after the Club Lavender Duet concludes. So, if you haven't listened to those 2 books yet, I recommend you catch up on all the events so far for the best experience. There's a link in the description and in the top right corner. Some parts of this book were abridged so that the text complies with the policies here. If you would like to read the full, unabridged version, check the description. Don't forget to adjust the speed of this video to match your comfortable listening pace. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the story.
Chapter 1. Damien. I want her to experience something primal, strong, human, ancient. Not in the way that mountains are strong or trees are ancient, but in the way humans have come together and created something that would withstand the test of time. The place where we would spend our first Valentine's Day has to be that and more. Romantic and slightly dangerous. Pretty, but with rough, unpolished edges. I click book, and the cozy little apartment I've been viewing is ours. I'm taking Sophie to Rome. She doesn't know about my plans yet. She's probably expecting something, but maybe more along the lines of a box of chocolates and a kinky night at the Moon Garden. Don't get me wrong, I know Valentine's Day is bullshit. It's capitalism at its finest, every single company trying to sell you as much as they can by guilting you into buying it for your lover, or friend, or even yourself. But I need to take Sophie away from the gang, and a romantic getaway is the perfect excuse. Truth is, back when Lavender fell, I passed her the reins of the gang and encouraged her innate desire to lead. She took over with endless enthusiasm and desire to do the right thing, and I love her for it. We've done a lot of good so far. Helped Hanako, Matthias, and Tanya. Hell, even Luna are no longer hermits because Sophie and the gang supported them in their darkest moment. Thomas and Melanie are growing up healthy, and both of them are in therapy, actively working on overcoming the events of last year. Love and is finally the haven it was supposed to be. On the surface, every piece of my shattered life has been put in its rightful place. The puzzle should be complete, but something is missing. I can't exactly put my finger on it. Is it that Sophie is always working? Is it that Thomas seems too grown up now and doesn't need me that often? Is it that all of my close friends have found their happiness and purpose, and they seem to think I have as well, when in fact I'm lost? Is it that I'm still running around in tactical gear and taking out bad people when all I wanted was to be out of this life? One way to find out. I scribble the poem I've been composing in my head over the past week on a piece of purple card and fold it in 2, just as I did when I was passing secret notes to Sophie as the Lavender Phantom. I turn everything off, the computer, the small desk lamp I was using, and the hallway light. I go back to bed and slip the note under Sophie's pillow. She stirs when she feels my arms snake underneath her, and even in her sleep, she seeks me out and nuzzles my chest. I embrace her, inhaling the sweet scent of her hair, and sigh softly. We're good, she and I, but we could be better. Our first overseas trip together will be the rope that entwines us tighter to each other. Violence and adrenaline are intoxicating and bonded us quickly, but now we need to do normal people things. And normal people go to Rome to look at ruins and art and eat amazing food. I fall asleep imagining both of us doing just that. Guns, knives, and raids left behind in the cold hands of Chicago.
Chapter 2. Sophie. I grip the armrest like my life depends on it as we accelerate and the plane tips back. I have a confession, I shout to Damien over the deafening sound of the engines. This is my first time. Damien smiles and pats my hand. His palm is significantly less sweaty than mine.
I figured. That's why I got us the best economy seats. You have to get the usual experience first so you can appreciate what I've booked for the way back.
His wicked grin puts me at ease. The plane levels off within a few minutes, and then it's as if it stops in the air. It's definitely smoother than any other transport I've ever been on. Relaxing in my seat, I peer at the flight attendants. They are loading their carts with our meals already, looking comfortable in their prim uniforms. Damien leans to whisper in my ear, his breath tickling my face.
Considering how easily you give up control when there's rope around you, I would have thought flying would be a firm favorite.
I bite my lip as I remember how his touch feels. That's different. I don't think the pilot is here to please me.
The pilot is here to get us to Rome safely, but I'm here to please you. Want to join the Mile High Club?
His words are a seductive drawl. He nibbles on my earlobe, making me shiver with pleasure in my seat. I cast a glance around, but as I'm in the window seat, no one can really see us. We're safe from the prying eyes of strangers, but Damien's heated gaze makes me feel exposed in the sexiest way possible. Here? Desire stirs in my lower belly, and I part my legs, inviting his wandering hand to rest there. He doesn't make any move to touch me, though. Maybe in the toilet? Or we can sneak into one of the first-class beds.
Patience, pet. It will all happen the way it's supposed to. The seatbelt sign is still on, and as someone who's been tied to a chair more than once, you should know what that means.
Stay put, I whisper.
Yes. Relax and rest. We'll be in Rome in 10 hours. Until then, just enjoy being in the sky, disconnected from our daily life, floating above everyone else in the fluffy clouds.
Yes, sir. I snake my arm through his and lean my head on his shoulder. The repetitive hum of the airplane soon lulls me to sleep, and I awake only when the food cart comes and goes. Drowsily, I eat the meal in front of me. Chicken breast with some potatoes and broccoli and a muffin. Then let myself drift off again. I don't celebrate St. Valentine's Day, but I'm glad Damien organized this for us. It's the anniversary of our first meeting soon, and the time feels momentous. Everything between us has been going great. So great. In fact, it makes me afraid that this whole year has been a dream, and I'm due a rude awakening. Comfort and stability make me uneasy, but then again, I've never had any of those before. When there are about 4 hours of our flight remaining, the voice of the male flight attendant wakes me up.
Vanilla or chocolate?
He asks each person as he makes his way toward us.
Definitely not vanilla, are we, Soph?
Damien winks my way. I chuckle and shake my head. I can't wait for whatever kinky debauchery he's planned for our trip. Chocolate, I confirm when the flight attendant reaches our row. He's handing out small pots of sweet mousse, and as I dig in, I smile, recalling the taste from my childhood. I was allowed one of these after every ballet lesson, and although my mother didn't agree with me having it so often, my dad always managed to sneak me a pot.
We're almost there,
Damien says after he swallows a mouthful of his pudding. Hey, you got vanilla.
It's not my fault this is so delicious.
He smirks.
And on the topic of delicious, did you pack what I asked you to?
I return his smirk and nod. He wanted me to have something sexy with me that could work for rope and going out. Is he taking me out to a party? Surprises make me uneasy, but that's because of my job. A surprise to the leader of a gang usually means betrayal or an ambush. Damien's surprises, however, are always worth it. Ever since Tanya took me to Lavender's sub-basement level, I knew that the creator of that place was someone who liked a bit of mystery in their life.
Good girl.
He says, making me go all warm and fuzzy on the inside.
And while I have you so compliant, how about we talk about what comes next?
3 amazing days in Rome, I hope.
3 days and 3 nights. But I meant after. Back when Lavender fell, I told you I wanted out. You told me you wanted in. And when it comes to the gang, we're both very much in.
Oh. I drop my gaze to my lap. Truthfully, I've been doing my best to wind it down. There was the trouble with Comet International a good few months ago that put us right in the center of a few too many dangerous situations. But after that, we kept it low-key. Yes, the gang grew because our reputation as vigilantes spread, but the jobs we did after were all internal and mostly within the confines of the law. I've been slowly steering the gang away from drug dealing and have instead created a hub in the Arcana Hospital to help people with addiction issues.
I know you don't want to talk about this, but I don't want to be a voiceless enforcer again.
Damien keeps pushing the subject. I'm no longer sleepy, instead starting to feel the niggle of anxiety in my belly. Is this romantic getaway an elaborate plan for him to break up with me? It can't be. Our lives are so tightly intertwined now. And we never fight. We're great together. I hear you. We will discuss it. I promise. But let's see the Colosseum first and stuff our faces with pasta. Let's enjoy ourselves before we have any tough conversations. I lock eyes with him and see my anxiety mirrored there too.
Chapter 3. Damien. When we land in Rome, some of my excitement for the upcoming days returns. The big conversation about Sophie and me has been shelved, but I know she won't be able to avoid it forever. In the meantime, we can enjoy the sunny weather and the beautiful old trees that line the drive to the little picturesque apartment I booked. A bus we saw at the airport whizzes past us, and Sophie whistles.
They drive fast here, don't they?
I'm driving the speed limit, but looking at everyone else it seems I'm too slow. It's like a strange metaphor for my life. Wherever I go, there are these blasted rule breakers. But the rules are comforting. They provide structure, and if you follow them, life becomes easy. I just want an easy life, that's all. After a 40-minute drive, we arrive at Casa di Zio Gio, a beautiful 5-story building with a heavy door and pink paint on the outside. The walls are lined with neat windows and external blinds, some open and some closed. I find my name taped on one of the intercom buttons. After a short ring, someone yells, "Ciao, Damien!" and the door buzzes open.
No elevator?
Sophie groans as we get in and notice the marble staircase twisting upward, and nothing else.
But we have suitcases and rucksacks.
You didn't seem to complain when we were lugging backpacks full of explosives when we raided the Comet International compound. It's a joke, I think, but it comes out more like a jab.
Fine, but I'm getting straight into the shower after we get the keys, because I'm only 10% Sophie and 90% Sweat.
She doesn't seem to mind my words as she picks up her pink carry-on case and trudges up. Our apartment is on the 2nd floor, and after a short but passionate chat in broken English with our host, we understand that he and his wife live just below us and own the small pasticceria downstairs.
I can't wait to try your cannoli, Giovanni.
Sophie says to him as he squeezes her hand. He's maybe my father's age, but lacks his cruelty and coldness. He has short gray hair and a wide smile, and when he talks, he leans from one foot to the other, as if the change in position will help him find the right foreign words. We say goodbye after I mention how tired we are, and he hands us the keys. The keychain is a miniature version of the bean in Chicago, which instantly makes me smile.
This is home for before and after.
Giovanni points to the bean, then to the door to the apartment.
This is home for now.
He whistles as he goes downstairs. Sophie's sweaty face shows a serene expression.
What a warm person,
she says. I unlock the door and heated air that smells like pastries hits my nostrils. There is no corridor, and we step directly into the living room, which is decorated in a colorful, homely decor. Teal sofas and wooden tables, pictures on the walls in different styles, and from different time periods. It almost seems like an uncurated gallery, especially when I inspect the 2 glass cabinets lining one of the walls. They're both locked, and both house magnificent collections. One has hundreds of porcelain and metal bells from all over the world. The other has playing cards, still in their boxes, foiled and perfect, each boasting a different city or country.
These must be gifts from his guests.
Sophie hugs me from behind, the gesture so familiar yet different somehow due to this new place. I turn around and splay my hand on her neck, caressing her cheek with my thumb. She inhales sharply, undoubtedly feeling the change in my mood. Go to the middle of the bathroom and take off your clothes, slowly, and leave the door open. She nods in submission and obeys without question. My dick hardens in my jeans at the sight of her swaying hips. Even jet-lagged and sweaty, she is gorgeous. Like Sophie, I can barely keep my eyes open too. I didn't get a wink of sleep on the plane, but the thought of her naked and obedient gives me an instant energy boost. Worshipping her body has become an ingrained priority in my brain. It's an indulgent pleasure that nothing can erase. I watch her peel off her travel clothes, revealing her toned body. My hands itch to touch her. Once she's completely naked, she stands still, awaiting my next instruction. If only the logistics of our vanilla life came as easy as our kink dynamic. I take my time, walking around the living room and turning the lights off, then flicking the door key to make sure we won't be interrupted. Only the bathroom remains lit in brilliant white, framing Sophie like a magnificent sculpture displayed in a museum.
Damien,
She whispers when she can't bear the silence anymore. I watch her from the darkness now, like a prowling hunter, quiet and poised for action, but not doing anything. My inactivity has always set her on edge, and it's one of my favorite ways to get in her head at the beginning of a scene. She doesn't know if we've begun yet or not. She knows she's safe, but she doesn't know the exact rules of the game. Turn around. I unbutton my jeans, stroking myself slowly as I watch her move. Now bend over and spread yourself for me.
Chapter 4. Sophie. The cold tiles of the bathroom anchor me as my whole body flushes with desire. I have no idea where he is going with this. I use my hands to reveal my most private part to him. Biting my lip, my mind keeps wandering. Is he going to just plunge into me? Is he going to spank me, the pain pushing me over the edge? Or is he just going to watch me squirm, exposed and vulnerable, in the only lit room in the apartment? My thighs start to tremble as I struggle to maintain my position on my tired legs. The pain is sweet, laced with anticipation and desire. Those feelings multiply when I sense Damien coming closer, his wide back casting a shadow on top of me, blanketing me in a promise of his touch. Damien, I whisper as he stops what feels like mere inches away. Please.
Shh, little pet.
His voice has the deep timbre of his kinky persona. I instantly clamp my mouth shut. I get wetter and wetter under his scrutiny. I know he has seen me down there hundreds of times already, but this feels different. The tiredness gives this experience a feeling of drunkenness or subspace. Everything around us falls away, and all I can think about is him granting me the release I've been craving since he flirted with me on the plane. His touch makes me flinch slightly, and I sigh in contentment, his fingers finally exploring my skin. I groan, wanting nothing else but for him to make me reach my peak.
So impatient.
He pinches me and I yelp, almost coming on the spot. These past few months have been full of us exploring our bodies and learning about each other. He can make me unravel in minutes, though he rarely does. Why would he when he can torture me slowly like this?
Get in the shower.
He pulls his fingers away and gives me a motivating slap on one butt cheek. I straighten and walk into the massive shower. Peeking from the curtain of hair in front of my eyes, I see that one half of the bathroom is sectioned off by floor-to-ceiling glass to prevent water from getting everywhere. It makes the place feel exposing, but as I turn on the hot water and steam starts rolling around me, the glass fogs, and Damien's shape becomes blurry, then disappears from view. The last thing I see is him leaning on a counter, stroking himself while looking straight at me. I know he will join me any moment now, so I test the water and then step in, letting the heat take away some of the tension in my muscles. The water pressure is strong, and the force of it on my head and shoulders feels like a massage. As I stand with my eyes closed, enjoying the touch of the water as it hits my body, big hands wrap around my waist and neck, and a cold, hard body presses into my curves. Damien, I whisper, my words turning into a sigh of relief. I lean back, allowing him access to my whole body. He nuzzles my neck and bites my earlobe, humming something soft in my ear. I relax into his touch, letting his soapy palms drag across every inch of my skin. In minutes, we're a mess of soap, water, and desire. And after we're both clean and warm, he finally presses me into the cold wall, lifts my leg, and slams into me until we're both nothing more than panting animals. I know I shouldn't drink tea so late, but I'm calm, content, and only missing a warm cup in my hand. this is the peaceful mood only mind-blowing orgasms can induce, a sort of sweet tiredness that seems to quiet everything down. It even put a stop to the difficult conversation with Damien. I know where he's coming from. I do, but I don't know how to move forward. What he wants is for me to abandon a part of myself I just reconnected with again. I'm in my element when I'm leading others, and letting it go will suck. But letting go of Damien isn't an option. I love him too much, and I cherish his presence in my life. More than that, Melanie likes him, and I like Thomas. Our lives are now intertwined beyond a simple relationship between two people. We've been through so much together, both beautiful moments and dangerous times. We're family, and you don't abandon family. Damien dozed off, exhausted after our intense sex and coupled with the jet lag. I can't say I blame him. The bed calls to me too, but the soft twinkling lights of night Rome are too enticing to miss. I imagine the glamorous parties that happened all around us through the centuries, and the countless lives that were lost to support the creation of something so vast and majestic. Tomorrow, we will walk to the Colosseum and stand where millions of people have stood. For a change of perspective, I guess this is as good as it gets. Just as I'm about to go to bed, I hear steps up the stairs leading to our floor. Years of being suspicious make the hairs on my neck stand up and my whole body still. I listen to the sounds beyond the wall with bated breath. There is quick Italian, then laughter. A minute later, the corridor outside quiets again, and I resume breathing, still frozen in place, my cup of tea steaming in my grip. I jump out of my skin when the bell rings, a happy ding-dong that sends a jolt of alarm from the top of my head to my toes. I place the cup on the windowsill and step quickly toward the bedroom, my feet as light as they can be. I have to warn Damien. When I'm back with him, he looks at me with confusion, his eyelids still heavy with sleep. I put a finger to my lips and shake my head slowly. The familiar sign wakes him up quicker than any words. The many raids we've done have helped us create our own sign language, and this one thing means stay put. He obeys, but his hand snakes to the top of the bedside drawer, his fingers curling around the knife we use to peel our fruit after our shower escapades. It's dull and small, but better than nothing. The bell rings again. Our unexpected visitors have clearly decided they've been waiting too long. They say something in Italian, their tone clipped and loud, but I can't tell if it's a threat or just how the language is. Damn, for not being able to speak it. Should we open the door? I whisper in Damien's ear, pressing my naked body to his. Heat stirs in my lower belly again, reminding me of how my body tangles desire and danger.
They've probably got the wrong door.
He whispers back, his muscles flexing under my touch as my hand begins to caress his back. Everything goes quiet again, and I use the pause and adrenaline to put on my panties and bathrobe. Casting a quick look at Damien, I hope to see my desire reflected in his gray eyes, but his face only shows concern. His brows are knitted like he's disappointed to be in this situation, and his whole body is rigid as he sits on the bed. My mind wanders back to our conversation, and I feel a little stab of sadness. We want different things. How do we find a path we can walk together and both be happy? I abandon those thoughts as I hear footsteps descending the stairs and murmured Italian that definitely sounds grumpy. I'm quick on my feet, turning the light in the living room off and staring out the window, the darkness concealing me. I want to see them. Was it danger, or was it someone's random mistake? 5 minutes go by, then 10. No one comes out, and some sixth sense I've developed through leading a gang tells me that something is wrong here. Maybe we were not the target of tonight's visit, but someone was. And the only other occupants here are our lovely hosts, Giovanni and his wife. They should be downstairs right now, sleeping. I lower myself and put my ear to the floor. I reckon old Roman buildings are not very soundproof. And I'm right. I hear the faint sounds of something breaking and Italian words back and forth between 3 or 4 people. It's a contained sound, like everyone is doing their best to be quiet. Pushing myself up, I do my best to be silent. When I'm upright, I pick up my mug, my serene mood long forgotten. I turn around to tell Damien my discovery when I meet his gaze. He sighs as he takes me in, his look full of... what? Disappointment, I think. He looks dispirited in his boxers, his arms crossed in front of his chest and mouth pulled a bit to the side. His whole stance is telling me something I don't want to hear.
This is what I was talking about.
He says out loud when I refuse to be the first to speak.
You crave danger, and I crave peace.
Why can't we have both? I whisper, but I'm not ready to have this conversation.
Because we'll be stuck in a vicious cycle and I'm tired of spinning in this toxic whirlpool.
It's not toxic. I do what I do to help people, but even I have to admit that's not the whole truth. If we continue like that, Rome won't be just a romantic getaway. It will be the place where we either grow closer together or break apart forever.
Chapter 5. Damien. The Colosseum is as grand as I imagined it to be, but much fuller inside than the stadium-like hole I was expecting. Below the stage are small cells walled in stone for the animals used in the shows. There are no windows, and the size of them is surprising considering there were once huge animals here, like bears. Can you believe that? I shut up halfway when I notice Sophie isn't looking where the audio guide is telling her to look. Instead, her gaze is trained on 2 men in the distance. They're looking around and talking on their phones. It wouldn't be surprising, because basically every tourist is doing the same. If it wasn't for the way they're dressed. They're in suits. Ruins and suits are an unlikely combination.
Sorry, what?
Sophie's attention returns to me, but my moment is broken. Do you want to go check them out? I don't want to ruin our whole day of sightseeing by fighting about why she's still hung up on the midnight visitors from yesterday. She sighs.
You figured me out, huh?
We've been working together for almost a year. I can recognize when you're on high alert. I cast a glance at the 2 men again and find them looking back at us. This won't help my argument. My opinion, they're security guards. Either the Colosseums or there's someone important nearby. In any case, we don't need to do anything.
Well, yeah. Technically, we don't need to, but...
She trails off. You want to? I shake my head and pause my audio guide. Fine. The next place we need to move to according to the map is that way anyway.
I won't do anything rash, I promise.
I want to believe her. I really do. But if she wasn't rash, she wouldn't have saved me and Thomas. She wouldn't have been such a good leader to a gang of misfits. Her rashness equals innovation. I balance out her fearlessness, and thus we come to the problem we're still dancing around. We want opposite things, but we complete each other. It's a blessing and a curse. We reach a viewing platform overlooking the whole Colosseum, and I notice the small metal rods holding stones together to keep the structure from crumbling. It's thousands of years old, and we stand where ancient Romans once stood. The poet in me fills with inspiration, but the former Lavender phantom stands vigilant next to his wraith. The men are just a few feet away from us, and when we near them, their faces change to frowns. One of them touches his earpiece and says something in Italian.
Shit, they've spotted us.
Sophie ducks in a crowd of excited tourists and lets the crowd take her away. I catch up with her in 3 wide strides. We're not doing anything wrong. Why are you hiding? As the audio guide drones on about the ancient statue of Nero, annoyance replaces my previous complacency. I just want to enjoy this visit, and because of whatever is going on right now, I can't. The 2 suited men are now obviously coming towards Sophie, and my patience runs thin. I step in their way and put an arm out to stop them. Who are you and what do you want? I ask in the voice I reserve for gang business. They frown and tell me something in Italian, their words filled with authority that just confirms my doubts.
Scostare.
One of them keeps saying, trying to shove me to one side. But I'm taller and my feet are planted firmly, so I'm not going anywhere. The other seems to grasp the situation.
Suspicious.
he says and points to Sophie. When I turn around, she's half hiding behind a column. I want to hold my face in my hands in embarrassment, but I don't. I'm sorry, we're just tourists,
No. No.
the man says, his brows knitting together.
No tourists. Leave. Suspicious.
He grabs hold of my arm and starts dragging me through the crowd. The other man heads for Sophie, and while I'm doing my best not to resist, my upper lip twitches with barely contained anger. In minutes, we are escorted out of the Colosseum, where a small female security guard tells us,
No entry. Banned.
"What did you do?" I whirl around and glare at Sophie, ready to unleash my wrath upon her. This feeling has been building since last night.
Nothing.
She glares back. I look her over and notice she's clutching something in her hand. "That thing help you figure out who they are?" I snarl, pointing at the object. She unfurls her fingers, revealing a set of 10 or so keys.
Yeah. They're security guards. I fucked up. I'm sorry. But on the other hand, we can get anywhere now without tickets.
Her apologetic smile only infuriates me further. I grab the keys from her hand and toss them to the side. Palatine Hill is next on the itinerary. I will be there. You do whatever you want, I say in a low, contained voice.
Today nothing remains of the Colossus of Nero save for the foundations of the pedestal at its second location near the Colosseum,
The audio guide lady in my ear says in her calming voice. I glance to the side at the huge cube-shaped stone and sigh. I guess in another 2,000 years this argument won't matter, and there won't be any traces of us ever being here. I consider going back and apologizing to Sophie for my outburst, then shake my head and move forward. The ruins better calm me down because we have 2 more nights here, and what I've planned won't work if Sophie and I aren't on the same page.
Chapter 6. Sophie. I stare at the place where Damien threw the guard's keys. Maybe I should return them? No, I'm already on security's bad side, so they might assume, rightly, that I stole them. With a quick look around, I make sure no one is about to dive into the dirt to get them for themselves, and happy that they're as innocuous as they can be. I dash after Damien. He's power walking up a small stony hill, and when I finally catch up with him, he's in a queue to have his ticket checked at the Palatine Hill entrance. Hey. I poke his arm. I'm sorry. I can't switch off as easily as you can.
I know, but that doesn't mean I can't be pissed about it.
He shows our tickets to the staff, and we enter someone's amazing home from 2,000 years ago. I follow Damien's lead and pop my audio guide in my ear, switching off my guilt and irritation at the whole argument and immersing myself in the lives of people who have long turned to dust. The paths are open, yet wind up and down, like a labyrinth of stone and foliage that aims to grab you and never let you go. I guess that's how work is for me. Helping people is part of my identity, part of what makes me want to get out of bed. When I'm on holiday, this desire doesn't disappear, it seems. I have never been on a holiday like this. Losing my parents and bringing up Mel the best way I could didn't allow for any overseas trips. And before that, we would go and see nature. My mother was fond of waterfalls, and my father loved forests. So we went on hiking holidays and camping trips. Europe wasn't even on the radar. So to say I don't know how to act and what's expected of me is an understatement. Damien's boarding school years in England have made him fundamentally different from me when it comes to this one thing. And although I wish we could just seamlessly agree about everything, it seems this holiday is causing more friction than anything else.
This park closes in 15 minutes.
A distorted woman's voice booms from everywhere at once. We've been walking for a couple of hours, barely speaking to each other, and now it's time to go. I tug on Damien's sleeve, trying one last time to salvage today. Do you want to hide and stay the night here? I give him a wicked smile that falls away as soon as I see he doesn't return it. His face is still stormy. You don't want to break the rules? I ask with a sigh.
Not this time.
He lifts his hand and smooths my hair. There isn't resentment in his eyes, but he looks defeated. Okay, let's go get some nice food. The air between us warms after this, and we chat about anything and everything we see on the way. The sneaky seagulls that aren't afraid of tourists, the water sellers, and how they probably fill up their overpriced goods from the free fountains of Rome, and the big crowds and hectic transport that makes us press closer together so that we don't lose each other. But after dinner, when we come back to the apartment and find a tray of fresh pastries waiting for us, Damien's mood sours again. Would it be so bad to help them? I stuff a cone full of creme in my mouth.
It wouldn't be bad. But we're from another country, from another gang. Even in Chicago, we think twice about getting involved in another gang's business.
Damien throws himself on the sofa and runs his hands through his hair. But we're not in Chicago. We're only tourists. We'll be gone in 2 days. The pastry is divine, but it gets stuck in my throat as our impending argument develops.
Tourists don't chase after the mafia.
We don't know they are mafia. They could just be the neighborhood bullies.
Exactly.
He rolls his eyes.
We don't know.
Fine. What do you want me to do now? I can't unknow what I know, and you don't like it when I pretend to not care. I want to do something, and it's clear you don't. Where do we go from here? I throw my hands in the air, exasperated by the ridiculous situation we've found ourselves in. This was meant to be a romantic getaway, damn it.
I don't know. Let's sleep on it.
Damien shakes his head. We still going to the Vatican tomorrow? It's the day before Valentine's Day, so seeing some opulence better fix the mood. I've brought sexy clothes and haven't had a chance to wear them yet.
Of course. Despite everything, I'm enjoying sightseeing. I just hoped you were going to enjoy it just as much.
I am. Rome is beautiful, but it's also as good as its people. So why can't we just help Giovanni in between all the tourist things?
Do you actually want me to answer that?
Damien raises an eyebrow. I press my lips together, containing the biggest sigh of today. I know what he's going to say. It's dangerous. It's impulsive. And it's not resting. No, I get it, I answer and trudge back to the bedroom. A little bit of lace peeks out from my semi-open suitcase. The sight of it makes me a bit sad, and I push it inside. It's not like I'm going to need it tonight.
Chapter 7. Damien. I'm cuddling Sophie despite being angry with her because she still feels and smells like a safe space, like my savior in my darkest night. I really don't want us to break up. The more we butt heads here, the more I realize I have to think hard about what I want for the future. I've gotten greedy, it seems, and want a life that people with our backgrounds can never have. So much has changed in this 1 year. Back when I was a prisoner in my home, all I wanted was for Thomas to live, and for a miracle to happen. The miracle was Sophie. But the darkest parts of me whisper that if I'm not careful, I will somehow end up a prisoner again. Maybe not in the same way, but beholden to a woman's ambitions nonetheless. I shift to my back and remove my arm from under Sophie's head. She stirs but doesn't wake. I'm struggling to fall asleep, so I roll out of bed and head to the kitchen for a glass of water. The voices coming from downstairs become louder, and when I stand in front of the door leading to the balcony, I know that if I open it and peek out, I'm the same as Sophie. I shouldn't stick my nose in other people's business. Not anymore.
Per favore. No. No.
I don't know Italian, but I can recognize begging in any language. Fuck it. I push the balcony door handle slowly, hoping it won't creak. It doesn't. And in a second, the voices from below ring clear in my ears. I glance down. 2 bulky men stand in front of Giovanni, who is kneeling on the ground, collecting scattered banknotes. I take in a deep breath, the sight awakening something in me that I have tried so hard to lock up. I go back in and open the cupboards one by one, searching for the iron skillet I saw when we checked in. Once it's in my hand, I sneak out and descend the stairs 2 at a time, the blood in my veins singing with each step. Adrenaline has flooded my body, and the white-knuckled grip I have on my makeshift weapon tells me one thing. I too am not done saving people. Or maybe I just want to have one calm fucking night to sleep off my jet lag. In any case, the 2 meatheads downstairs are leaving. They spot me the moment I come out on the street. In my rush, I didn't take stock of what I look like. When they laugh at the sight of me, I know that was a mistake. Intimidation is not about violence. It's about projecting power. And I'm not sure how much power I'm projecting in my boxers and old t-shirt. No matter. They probably don't know English anyway. I don't wait for an invitation or a villain speech. I don't even stop to consider them. I just stride toward them, holding the skillet like a tennis racket. When I'm within attack range, they're still snickering. It doesn't seem they have guns on them, which makes me bolder. They probably thought Giovanni was a small fish they could bully. One quick glance at him, and I think they were probably right. But I bet they didn't account for 2 Chicago gangsters to be staying in this apartment. I swing, my arm unfurling like a wing. I hate violence. I detest the harm it can do to those I love. But when I'm the one in control, when my muscles contract in anticipation of impact, I embrace the freedom and power it gives me over bad people. I stop my attack an inch away from one of the meatheads' faces and look down on them both, all the frustration I've built up over the past few days rolling off me in waves. I'm breathing like a barely restrained bull, daring them to challenge me. They step back, furiously cursing me in Italian. I raise my skillet again, carefully watching their movements. If they have a gun, I'm in so much trouble. But they step back again, and after a shared look, they run away like cowards. "Are you okay?" I ask Giovanni, who is still cowering on the ground, clutching a few banknotes.
Si, okay.
His stammered reply is laced with gratitude, but I don't doubt these 2 will be back. They will bring more people with them and guns. As my anger subsides, the reality of what I've done hits me like a train. I've made things 100 times worse. Now Sophie and I have to help. We can't leave him. But how the hell would I admit that to her after making such a fuss about it earlier? If Sophie knows what happened during the night, she isn't showing it. She woke up determined to have a peaceful day touring the Vatican, and I couldn't find a good time to tell her. Before I went to bed last time, with the help of Giovanni's wife and a translator app, I learned that the people I chased off were a new occurrence, and that they hadn't yet said who was backing their operations, if anyone. Giovanni was giving them each day's profits from the bakery, and they didn't seem to know about his holiday renting business. So all in all, it doesn't look as bad as I thought. They will be back, but I can probably take them on and scare them enough to leave the family alone. There is only one gaping hole in my plan. If they don't come tonight, and Sophie and I leave, who will look after Giovanni and his wife? Sophie's body presses into mine and she grunts, glaring at the old lady behind her. We're crammed in the metro train, and there is 0 space for more passengers, yet with each passing station, more and more people push inside, squishing us into the wall.
How does she have such sharp elbows?
Sophie growls, her enthusiasm somewhat dampened by the rush hour we've unknowingly walked into. "Come here," I say as I snake my arms around her. The action isn't as sexy as it's meant to be considering there isn't any space for us to move, and she can't really move anywhere. But I hold her nonetheless, happy that I'm taller than most of the passengers and can look over their heads. We have a couple more stops.
Your retirement plan.
Sophie starts, her eyes glancing around.
What does it look like?
What do you mean?
When you let go of...
She hesitates.
Your old job. How do you imagine your life after?
Just normal, I guess. Is this conversation really happening right now?
Am I in it?
Yes, I say without hesitation.
Am I happy?
She shuffles a bit, then splays her palm on my chest, over my heart. Her question catches me unprepared and I'm lost for words. The easiest answer is yes, but if I really think about it, in the perfect existence I have made in my head, she is a doting wife with unusual hobbies like tying and lockpicking. Do you need danger to be happy? I ask. If she does, she would hate my dream for us. She sighs.
Not danger. Power.
The train halts, and some people push to get out, while others get in. Sophie and I remain entwined, our hearts hammering with the same anxious rhythm. Sophie looks into my eyes, reading the dark thoughts there.
I am not Penelope,
she whispers.
I will never be her.
She craved power too. Sophie's head drops, her forehead pressing on my shoulder.
I will prove it to you. I'm not sure how yet, but by the end of this trip, you will know that the power I need has nothing to do with Penelope's twisted vision, but you have to be open to see it.
I am open. It doesn't come out with enough conviction, eliciting another big sigh from Sophie.
Have I betrayed your trust so far?
She asks. Of course not. If anything, you made me believe in the good in people again.
Then just trust me again. Don't think about your fears or your dreams. Give me today and tomorrow, and I will prove to you that we can be happy together without giving up our wishes.
My first instinct is to tell her she doesn't have anything to prove. Yet the unreasonable part within me wants to see her determination and her commitment to a future where we're all safe. So I just nod and press my lips to her forehead. The train jostles us around, but we remain glued to each other, silent anticipation running through us like a current of hope.
Chapter 8. Sophie. The Vatican, the world's smallest country, is both beautiful and baffling to me. The riches embedded in the walls, floors, and ceilings of the buildings showcase the Catholic richness in history, but also its bloody past. Marveling at the endless golds and marbles, I wonder how many people had to die through the years so that I could walk around these halls and gawk at paintings, mosaics, and sculptures. In between messages of purity, piety, and the beauty of sacrifice, I wonder what the hell I'm doing here. I don't identify with any of these messages. If anything, I want to live a rich life without any sacrifices. I'm selfish in my desire to live the way I want, because I've earned it. I've had enough hardships, and I'm no martyr. This is partially why I don't want to throw away my aspirations to lead the gang in favor of becoming Damien's perfect partner. I know Thomas needs a stable life away from danger, and that Melanie has to heal in her own time without the need to look over her shoulder. But hiding away and pretending to be normal is only one way to achieve that. Being the most powerful one in the room and surrounding yourself with reliable allies is another option, one that suits me much better. I'm on my best behavior when we pass security checks and follow tour guides. I smile when I have to and consider all the artifacts in front of me with the appropriate interest. Damien seems fully immersed in the experience, his eyes twinkling with curiosity after each old thing we see. We even see the corpses of 3 popes, one without his organs. I have to admit, that makes a nice change from all the other boring things we pass. I enjoyed the ruins yesterday much more, but I keep quiet about it. I promised Damien and I will fulfill the hell out of this promise. I will also save Giovanni and his wife from their predicament. I didn't say anything last night, but I know Damien went down and scared them off. Seeing him in action again reminded me that despite how different we are, we have one big, important thing in common. We can't stand by when someone innocent is in trouble. He may pretend he wants to leave that behind, but he saved Tanya, Matthias, and Luna, even when he was in his father's shadow. He may think his kindness can be separated from his violence, but I will show him that one can't be without the other. Both of us were molded to be tools, him as a weapon, myself as a lockpick. No matter how hard we try, we can't shed those parts of ourselves. It's already 3 p.m. when we decide to have lunch. My feet are killing me from waiting in lines and shuffling slowly with tourist groups, so the idea of sitting down and stuffing my face with carbs has me literally glowing with excitement. Let's have spaghetti. I point to a restaurant across the street, my mouth watering at the plates of food in front of the people sitting outside.
Wait, let me check.
Damien looks the place up on his phone.
4.6 stars. Good. And sounds like they use authentic cooking methods. You go save us a table. I'm just going to grab a couple of souvenirs.
Okay, pick a funny one for Tanya. I wave as he disappears into the small overstuffed shop next to the restaurant. I find us a good spot overlooking the street and sit down. The waiter brings me a menu, and I flip through it like I've never eaten before. I hadn't realized how hungry I was until I smelled the gentle tomato and oregano aroma permeating the whole floor. I decide on a pesto and almond spaghetti dish and switch to the wine menu, ready to choose something that will elevate our experience further. Damien is taking a while. I glance at the street absent-mindedly and see a group of men walking through the mass of tourists like they own the place. Something tickles the back of my neck, a familiar warning that I do my best to shut down. I promised Damien I would show him. Although these guys look suspicious as fuck, I'm not going to have a repeat of the Colosseum incident. After 5 more minutes, I decide the souvenir shop wasn't big or busy enough for Damien to take so long, so I dial his number, ready to tell him off. The call goes straight to voicemail. The warning I ignored comes ringing in my ears in full force, and I push up and out of the restaurant. The waiter asks me something, but I just apologize quickly and stride to the shop, hoping Damien is just inside looking at miniature versions of the Pietà. I walk between the shelves, the sinking feeling in my stomach spreading like cancer. He's not here. "Excuse me, have you seen a tall man?" "About this tall?" I ask the shopkeeper, but he only shakes his head and points to the sign taped to the wall.
No English. All price in euro. Use translate.
I take in a deep breath, biting my lower lip until I feel blood in my mouth. Those men from before weren't tourists, and although we like to pretend, Damien and I aren't just nameless nobodies. It could be the guys from last night seeking vengeance, or someone else who has found out about our occupations. Or none of those. And my imagination isn't wild enough to imagine why a person would be taken in the middle of the Vatican. No matter. The wraith comes out, pushing Sophie the tourist to the depths of my being. I open Luna's GPS app, the one that connects me to all of my close people, and them to me. A chip is embedded in everyone's phone case, as well as in one other item of their choice. I wear mine in a pouch in my bra, together with a few non-metal lockpicks. Damien's is in his belt. His dot is purple on the map, the only moving dot on the same continent as me. I don't know what I will be walking into, and I don't have my arsenal of tools and weapons on hand. But I have my experience of raids, fights, and break-ins, and I still wear the ring Matthias made for me last year, just in case. Most importantly, I have our allies. I phone Luna, and as the call connects, I think about one thing only: finding Damien. No way in hell will someone separate us now that I have decided to find a way for us to live in harmony.
Chapter 9. Damien. I'm escorted to a little tavern a couple of blocks away from where I left Sophie to choose our lunch. Escorted is putting it nicely. The 5 men who crowd me are all my size, sporting random tattoos just peeking out of their sleeves and collars. One of them has a gun firmly pressed to my back, and the cold feel of it propels me forward. This must be the result of waving a skillet at unknown criminals. A sudden clarity envelops me like a suffocating cloud of thick smoke. If Sophie and I had approached Giovanni's issue as we normally approach everything in Chicago, I wouldn't be in this situation. But my chasing an impossible dream blinded me to the point of rage. And danger is always one mistake away, whether I consent or not. This is just how our lives are. The tavern is surprisingly bright and well decorated on the inside. I'm pushed to a chair, my wrists secured behind my back in handcuffs, and my feet taped to the chair legs. I don't fight it. I'm vastly outnumbered, and I have no way to protect myself against a bullet. 2 of the men then lift my chair, like I weigh nothing, and move me next to the set table. There are all sorts of decadent pastries on it, a jug of water, and white plates and napkins set for 4 people. Seems like someone will be joining me.
Espresso, okay?
Asks one of the men in a heavy Italian accent. Can I have tea? I ask, grasping for whatever familiar comfort I can find.
Mr. Gray, you are in the country of coffee. Do not reject our hospitality.
A short, rotund man comes from the back, carrying a tiny cup and saucer in his hands.
Ristretto per lui.
The first man nods and the coffee machine rattles to life.
It is wonderful to meet you. I apologize for the rude invitation, but I had to meet you.
The rotund man continues. He looks like he's the boss, or at least someone higher in whatever organization I've been captured by.
Your father is a most honorable man.
I narrow my eyes and shift in my chair. This guy knows who I am. This might not be connected to yesterday. One of the tattooed men brings a tiny coffee cup and puts it on a pretty white saucer in front of me.
Let's drink to our meeting.
The boss man raises his own tiny cup and smiles. Before I can say that it would be great if I could use my hands, the ristretto is brought to my lips. It could be poisoned. It's most definitely bitter. I move my head to one side and speak. Perhaps it would be more hospitable if I could hold my own cup. He nods to the men behind me. A few seconds later, my arms are free, and I rub my wrists before taking the coffee and downing it in one gulp. I burst into a cough, doing my best not to spit the bitter liquid back in his face.
Mamma mia!
He laughs, then claps slowly.
Ristretto is usually a few sips. It is not a shot.
I don't mean to offend you, but I don't know who you are and what you want. My voice comes out hoarse, and I reach tentatively for the water jug. No one stops me, so I pour myself a glass and down that too.
I am only a representative of a few Italian families who want to inquire as to the reason for your visit to our great city of Roma,
the rotund man says, his English heavily accented but smooth. I don't miss the fact that he doesn't give me a name. Leisure. My partner and I are here to sightsee and spend a romantic Valentine's Day. I see no reason to lie.
Oh, wonderful choice. Roma is perfect for romance,
he replies as he sips his tiny coffee.
But you see, for our safety, we monitor persons of interest when they come to Italy, and yesterday you did something interesting.
He takes out a little folder from under the table, opens it, and points his fat finger to the picture in the middle. I've been captured by someone's camera in full glory. No pants, skillet, and murderous expression. They were your people? I ask.
Oh, no, they are, how do you say it, ruffians. But attacking Italian citizens is an act of aggression, so we had to have this chat. If you are truly here for leisure, then this is merely a formality.
Why else would we be here?
Expansion, networking, running from the authorities. We have had all sorts.
His mouth stretches into a smile, but his eyes remain motionless, trained on me, observing my every reaction. I scoff at his words, finding it funny that I brought Sophie here to escape the gang life for a bit, only to be labeled persons of interest by the mafia. I guess I will never truly get out of this business. If my father is known here, then it will never let up in Chicago. The men are threatening our host. They are not letting us sleep. We're jet-lagged and tired, and yesterday I snapped. And just to confirm, I didn't hurt anyone. I just scared them off.
I see. Then maybe... Signore!
A man bursts into the tavern and leans in, talking directly into the rotund man's ear.
Lasciala entrare.
He nods at the door. I turn around and see Sophie standing there, thunderbolts in her eyes, sweat on her forehead, and a hand behind her back that probably holds a weapon she should put away right now.
Chapter 10. Sophie. Damien looks at my hidden arm as if I'm holding a gun behind my back. I'm not. Mr. Lucchese, holding my boyfriend hostage is terrible manners, I say.
Ah, Mrs. Gray.
Try again. I unfurl my arm and show him what I'm holding. It's my phone with a picture of him with his sizable family. He has 3 sons, and each of them have a couple of kids. The photo so kindly provided by Luna is going to be my ticket out of this mafia establishment.
Are you threatening me?
Mario Lucchese, a fixer who seems to belong to none of the big families, doesn't spare me a second glance. He talks toward Damien like he will know what I'm doing.
As I was saying,
Damien replies,
we are here as tourists and don't want to involve ourselves in anything.
Mario's hand twitches and 2 men jump in front of me, ready to take me down. I wouldn't. I dodge and roll under my attackers, closing the distance between me and the table in the center of the room. Think about Lila and little Luca. They wouldn't want anything to happen to their fathers, now would they? I whisper.
You wouldn't hurt them.
Mario's eyes widen. Try me. I channel Tanya's crazy eyes and lift my chin to look at him from above.
Tell your partner to stand down.
He says to Damien, panic lacing his voice.
Oh,
Damien narrows his eyes and understanding paints his face.
you think I'm the boss? I'm not.
I shake my head. Come on, Mr. Lucchese. Let us go.
You can't be serious. A woman is the head of your organization?
You're surprised by this in this day and age? I ask as I go around the table and kneel to untape Damien's legs. Seeing him like this reminds me of the first few times I saw him in Lavender, and something warm tugs at my chest. Despite the situation we're in, I feel belonging and not fear. My heart swells with love when I offer him my hand and he takes it, standing up next to me. As he towers beside me, like a majestic sentinel, I know there's no way in hell I would let him go. I can be strong because of his support. I can lead because he has my back. Mario straightens in his chair, his eyes darting between me and Damien. I give him a minute to compose himself. We are not here to get involved with you or any of the organizations you report to, just to see the sights and have a good time. I echo Damien's words from before.
At least you have your stories straight.
Mario says under his breath.
Because it's the truth.
Damien replies.
Fine. How about we do something mutually beneficial then?
Mario takes a sip of his water. His hand shakes a little.
We'll deal with those ruffians who are tormenting your accommodation host, and the Chicago gang will owe us a favor.
Damien stiffens next to me, but I catch his wrist and squeeze gently. This is a good time to show him that he doesn't need to be my enforcer. In fact, he doesn't need to be anything but my lovely damsel in distress. I will always come to save him. We will think about it. Before that, I have a professional question for you. I sit down in the chair Damien was tied to. I'll have an espresso while we talk. Mario's upper lip twitches, but he nods to the guy behind the bar. He hates that I'm here, talking to him on his level, holding his family hostage and ordering his staff to wait on me. But tough shit. I got problems to solve and he's the tool I will use. As far as I know, Rome is unclaimed territory. Who are these guys extorting money from the locals?
Young and foolish men. Rome is not technically unclaimed. It's claimed by the tourists. There are too many of them here, and the police presence is strong. Add in all the embassies, international agencies, and random oligarchs and sheikhs from other countries, and it's a whole mess no one wants to touch.
My espresso arrives, and although I prefer tea, I put a bit of sugar in and take a sip. Mario watches me like a hawk, and when I swallow calmly, his eyes flicker with something that seems a lot like approval. Maybe I will change his mind about women in power. I see. Then why are you offering to dirty your hands with them for us? To me, it sounds like the problem will resolve itself. You know, the police will catch them, or the tourists will tire them out. Why bother doing anything? Damien shifts next to me, and I know that this argument is surprising to him. He must think I would have jumped at the opportunity to deal with the men bullying Giovanni. But I'm not that stupid, and I'm not going to be indebted to an unknown party in another country. Not when I'm trying to build something completely different in Chicago, something that will protect and empower, something that Damien will be proud of and will provide a safe enough space for Mel and Thomas to grow up in.
We can have them gone by the time you are back at your apartment.
Mario replies.
You will be able to sleep and do romance in Roma, as you wanted.
That must be what Damien told him. I can't wait to do romance, but I'm not falling for this. We'll let you know. I finish my still bitter coffee and get up. I don't mind if you observe our movements from a distance, but you won't find anything interesting.
Your fight at the Colosseum was interesting,
He says with a smirk. I don't raise to his taunt. We're a loving couple. We fight from time to time. It's normal. I'm sure you and Isabella are much the same. Name-dropping his wife makes him frown, but I only smile. Lacing my fingers with Damien's, I stride out of the small restaurant with my head held high. We walk in silence for a bit, hand in hand. My knees are shaking, I admit. How about that spaghetti restaurant? This coffee will give me indigestion. Damien stops and twirls me into him, embracing me in the middle of the street. I'm sure Mario's men are somewhere close by, watching, but I don't care.
Thanks for saving me yet again, pet. You did so well.
His voice rumbles in his chest, the vibrations against my cheek instantly calming. You've got Luna to thank, really. They found out all about Mario's family, I whisper.
No, thank you. I've been such an idiot these past few days. You were right to worry. We were being watched from day one.
Yes, but you were also right that I don't know how to switch off. With the little time we have remaining now, there's nothing I want more. My sexy outfit is still in the suitcase. He chuckles and smooths my hair.
All in good time, Soph. Chapter 11, Damien. I wake up to the faint sound of keyboard typing. It's 5 in the morning, and the streets of Rome are still dark and empty of the usual tourist crowds. We have one day left, and the plan is to visit everything we haven't seen so far in the city center, the Pantheon, the Spanish Steps, and Piazza Venezia. It will be a long day, so really, we should sleep. You found them, didn't you?
Yep. So the question is whether to let the mafia know or the polizia. Either way, they're going down and leaving Giovanni alone.
Sophie's eyes sparkle in the muted light of the living room. She's confident, comfortable, and happy. She's in her element. Do we have to change our plans for tomorrow? I sit next to her on the sofa and snake an arm under her. She shivers and snuggles up close, the laptop on her lap tilting to one side.
I know what you're thinking,
She whispers as she buries her face in my neck.
but I'm yours, Damien. And our time is just for us. This little thing I'm doing for Giovanni won't derail our plans. Luna will take care of it. We don't have to lift a finger. Do you trust me?
She looks up at me with her big brown eyes, like an innocent fawn, and takes my breath away. I want to tell her that it was never about Giovanni or the local goons. Not really. It was about my fear that I will lose her to the gang life. Either playing with dangerous people will finally go wrong, or she will lose herself in her work and leave me in the background of her life. I want to be brutally honest with her. A scary part of me wants to forbid her from getting into trouble, to lock her away like a princess and keep her safe. But she will hate me for it, and I can't say no to her. So I nod, place my lips on the top of her head, and whisper into her orange-scented hair. Yes, I trust you. She shifts, moving the laptop to the coffee table, and climbs on my lap. Her body fits right into mine, and as her lips find mine, I wonder how I entertain the idea of being without her. I can't. I won't.
Chapter 12, Sophie.
Happy Valentines.
Damien whispers in my hair as he snuggles me close. After a quickie on the couch last night, we went to bed physically and emotionally spent. It seems we have found our way back to each other, and although we still have many practical conversations to have, the gray cloud that seemed to be forming above our heads ever since we boarded the plane to Rome has dissipated. Is this a present in between your legs, or are you just happy to see me? I push my butt against his morning erection, and he chuckles, his hands tightening around me, bringing me even closer.
We have a big day ahead of us,
He says.
so hold that thought and go shower. I will join you in a minute.
I obey, and as I stride to the bathroom, teasing him with my nakedness, I bite my lip in anticipation. We did everything today. Shower sex, sightseeing, gelato feast, and a romantic lunch. It was all so normal and felt like a reward for the turbulent times we endured so far. Maybe things had to happen the way they did, so today could be the sweetest it could be. In any case, I'm definitely in love with Damien and his thoughtful, poetic desire to court and impress me. Where are our boarding passes? I ask as we gather our things and stuff our suitcases. Our overnight flight is a few hours away, but Giovanni and his wife wanted to have dinner with us, so we are packing early.
I have them, don't worry.
Damien shouts from the other room. I pick up the red lacy bodysuit I brought and frown. That and Damien's rope got no action. We can make up for lost time at home, of course, but it's a bit of a shame. After bluffing my way out of a mafia kidnapping, I could use some sub time to switch off.
Put that on under your clothes tonight.
Damien's voice pulls me back into the room. For the flight? I raise an eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
Are we joining the Mile High Club? Excitement and a bit of nervousness swirl in my lower belly. How will we pull it off?
You'll see. For now, let's go downstairs and enjoy some home-cooked Italian food.
Damien winks at me before disappearing into the kitchen. I'm down for anything, as long as it involves Damien's sexual attention on me. I put on the bodysuit and glide my hands across my sides, enjoying the feeling of the material. It's luxurious, with a slight sheen to it, and hides nothing. The sheer lace accentuates the swell of my breasts and the curves of my waist and hips. My nipples peek under the fabric, stretching the pattern, begging for Damien's mouth around them. I can't wait for Damien's final surprise. All is well when it ends well. Luna have made good on their promise. Giovanni shoves his phone into Damien's hands as we go down to join them for dinner.
Grazie, grazie.
Giovanni and his wife chant this as they point to the screen, where I see an article in Italian. It has a stock photo of some handcuffs on it, and I assume our little intervention has made the news. In the end, we decided to give the Roman goons to the police. I didn't want to owe anything to the mafia, and I quite liked the idea that the tourists were in control of Rome. There was no need to encourage any gang-on-gang violence. Giovanni's special white lasagna with prawns and zucchini is delicious, and the perfect final meal of our trip. As I bury my eyes in the dark sky above us, I sigh in contentment. A couple of hours later, we all say goodbye and return our keys.
You arrive guests, but leave friends.
Giovanni squeezes each of us, then his wife pushes a packet of cannoli into our hands.
For travel, okay?
She says with a smile that warms my heart. I'm glad they get to trade and live in peace now. Until the next time someone decides to extort them, sure. But I choose to believe some other traveler will protect them then. With friends from all over the world, they will never be alone.
Chapter 13. Damien. When I booked this flight, I didn't know how Sophie and I would be. There was a chance that it would be one of the most awkward plane rides in history. It's only been a few days, but it feels like we attended a relationship boot camp. My feelings for Sophie are stronger than ever, and judging by the way she sticks to me now as we wait to board, the sentiment is mutual. So as we are escorted to the Onyx Entertainment private jet, I hold my breath not because of tenseness, but because of the pure excitement running up and down my body.
What the?
Sophie's eyes widen as she takes in the black and red aircraft in front of her. Wait till you get inside, I whisper in her ear. A suited flight attendant takes our luggage before we climb the stairs and brings it inside for us. The inside of the plane is obscured by a heavy velvet curtain, and the moment we pass the threshold, it's like we've entered another world. Sophie gasps, and I have to admit I do my best to contain my own amazement. It's nothing like the brochure. It's so much better.
Is this a sex plane?
Sophie tugs on my sleeve like a child, her mouth open. Yep, it will take us and about 10 more people straight to Chicago. I show her the small sofa seats at the front, then gesture to the back. Those are fully equipped private cabins. It's a dungeon in the sky, and it's ours for the next 10 or so hours.
I can't believe such a thing exists.
She moves forward, touching the plush seats and looking around. We get a glass of Prosecco and an invitation to explore while everyone else boards. I don't have to be told twice. I head straight for the rope suspension cabin. It is smaller than what I'm used to, but big enough for a simple scene. There is a bamboo pole hanging from the ceiling, and the floor and walls are covered in soft black fabric, making it both safe and luxurious.
How would it feel to be tied up in an airplane?
Sophie muses as she joins me. I take her face in my hands and kiss her, invading her mouth with my tongue, possessing her with a dominance that only comes out when we're doing kinky stuff. She moans as I push her against the plush wall and grind my hips against her stomach.
Can all passengers join us for a safety announcement and to prepare for takeoff?
The announcement rings through the whole cabin and we separate. People come out of the other private rooms, and soon all seats are filled. We still have to wear the belts as we ascend, but the mood in the plane is unlike anything I've experienced before. Passengers are in lingerie, leathers, or fully naked, and all of them are talking quietly to each other about their plans. I hold Sophie's hand, making sure she isn't experiencing any discomfort. It's only her second flight after all, and she wasn't a fan of the turbulence before. But the weather is on our side, and the pilot seems determined to keep the ride as smooth as possible. So before long, we're allowed to get up and start playing. My rope bag is already waiting in the room, and I waste no time pulling Sophie to me and peppering kisses on her neck as I run my hands up and down her arms. She's in her pretty red bodysuit now, waiting to be restrained and ravaged. I tie her hands behind her back in a classic box tie, taking my time with each wrap, inhaling the scent of her anticipation and feeling how her skin covers in goosebumps when the rope glides across her toned limbs. She whimpers when I push her to the floor and attach a rope from her back to the bamboo, pulling it taut until she's kneeling in front of me, supported by the tie. I take her chin in my hand and push my thumb into her mouth, growing hard as I watch it disappear between her plump lips. I tie a rope to her right leg and lift it up, forcing her body into a gentle twist. Her breathing quickens and her eyes lid over as she embraces the new position. It won't be easy for her to sustain it for long, not after I lift her other leg and anchor it to the first one, making her into a sexy flying superheroine. But I know she can dig deep into herself and find the stamina to withstand the discomfort of the ropes digging into her muscles. Even more, she will come for me like this. I lower myself between her legs and spread them a little, shifting her ropes and making her groan with new tension. Shh, you're so strong, pet. Sophie moans when I push the tiny fabric of her bodysuit aside and dip my tongue into her wetness. As I vary up my pace, the variety of sounds coming from her foxy mouth drives me insane. She jerks from time to time, making it undoubtedly more painful for herself. But as I dig my fingers into her thighs and eat her out like a starving man, she can do nothing but accept my agonizing worship. She tastes like ambrosia. Those Roman gods and goddesses from eons ago, depicted in museums, galleries, and churches, can't hold a candle to Sophie's ethereal beauty at this very moment. She comes with a scream, her pussy twitching against my flat tongue. I lap up everything she gives me. I have to pace myself. We've only just begun. There are hours left of this flight, and hopefully years of our lives together to explore every depravity our minds conjure up. Ready for more? I whisper as I bite her thigh. Her hair is already sticking to her face, and her cheeks are as red as the seats outside. But she opens her eyes and bites her lip as she answers,
Yes, sir. Thank you for listening to this book. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know what you thought in the comments. I have more stories featuring Sophie and Damien and their friends in my spin-off series Dark Things. The first book in the series, Dark Rings, is my next project, and I can't wait to share the audio for it here. If you are listening in the future, it might already be here, so feel free to check the channel. In the meantime, if you want to catch up on Sophie and Damien's full story, listen to the full Club Lavender duet, available here on the channel, or dive into the Dark Things omnibus in written format. And if you want to see and hear more of my writing and about writer life behind the scenes, subscribe to this channel and join my monthly mailing list. I have full free audiobooks for you here and many more exciting insights into my process. All links mentioned are in the description. See you again soon. Lots of love. Lainey.